it's me, Kate, again. So in this video, I'll be talking about all the books that I read in the month of August. Definitely quite a few, but not as many as some other months, so let's begin. So first book that I actually read was Priča Splaže Paulina P by Sanja Polak. This is book in this kind of companion series for in Croatian, which is all about Paulina P, where she tells us her life story in diary format, and this is all about the stuff that she did 1 year on the beach, and we're following her from about when she's second or third grade up until when she's in the 8th grade about to go to high school. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it, gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and it's actually really short. Then the next thing that I read was actually a reread, and that was Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. So this first book in Aurora Cycle series, in which we're following Squad 312, which is basically a band of misfits who has to save the galaxy. All that because their squad leader Tyler Jones, who was star pupil at their academy, was late to his graduation ceremony, and instead of picking the best of the best, he ends up with bottom of the barrel, all because he was saving this girl named Aurora. And it's actually really fun. So why? Don't mind me in this part. And then actually I read another reread, which is here, and it's Dark Eyes by C.S. Packet. This author is author of the comic book series Fence. So if you haven't read it, read it. It's really actually fun. I read it last year and had a great time. Also, I had a great time with this book. So in this one, we're following a guy named Will, who is an orphan and has been working on the docks for a couple of months up until now, when he bumps into a group of people who are trying to stop Dark Lord from rising. And it's really fun and really weird, I must say. Definitely. Then I actually reread Little Lord Found Leroy by Frances Hodgson Bennett. So this is a children's classic in which we are following a 7-year-old boy named Cedric, who finds out that basically his grandfather is English aristocrat, and Cedric is son of his young aristocrat's youngest son, and because Cedric's father and all of his uncles died, actually Cedric is his only heir, and he's now a lord. It's actually really fun. Gave it 5 to 5 stars. Also, I gave this one 5 to 5 stars. Then I actually reread Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, just because I was participating in magical Readathon Orilium Autumn Equinox, and I didn't have any other book to fill one prompt, so it was better if I did that. And then I actually read for the first time one of my new favorite books of the year, and that's Amaya and the Night Brothers by B.B. Olsen. So basically, this story is about Amari, whose older brother named Quinton went missing, and now it's basically Amari is one of a few people who believe he's still out there and he's not dead because it's been months since he's been last seen. Basically, one day this guy comes and tells her that he has a package from her for her from her brother, and then it's in her brother's closet. And basically, that confused Amaya because she and her mother went through all of his stuff, and also police went through all of his stuff. And they found nothing, and turns out, and then Amaya goes into her brother's room and finds this briefcase from the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, and stuff goes from there. Then I actually reread Serpent Love by Shelby McHorn. Basically, it's a story about a witch and witch hunter who have to get married because they have been caught in a compromising situation, and he doesn't know she's a witch, so it's real fun seeing how stuff goes from there, because like they have to stay in the same room because they are kind of married, and so she's sleeping in a bathtub at one point. It's hilarious. Then I actually reread Obsidia by Amy Kaufman and Jake Christoph, this third book in Illuminate File series, in which we are following a group of kids and some adults connected to Space Colony Cairns 4. Basically, in the first book we are following Katie and Ezra, who managed to evacuate from the colony, and one of their ships they were flying on was destroyed, and the other one was severely damaged. Then in the second one we're following Hannah and Nick, who are at the space station Katie and Ezra were supposed to get to, and in Obsidia we're following Katie's cousin Asha, who didn't manage to evacuate it, and is one of very few people left, but she is actually really useful to the guys who come and destroy her, because she's a nurse and they are fleet, and they need them like nurses and doctors to care for their wounded. And we're also following Reese, who is her ex-boyfriend and actually is working for the company that destroyed the colony. This series is really fun. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. In this book we're following three sisters, Betty, Charlie, and Phyllis. Please, whose family is cursed, so the women in the family can't leave their island, and if they do, they are cursed to die before the next sunset. It's really fun and great books. Then I actually reread Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which I read for the first time in July. And in this book we are following Simon Snow, who is the worst chosen one to ever be chosen. Instead of saving the world, he just it looks like he just puts it in much more trouble. and he's going to this wizarding school, kind of like Hogwarts, but lasts 8 years. And when his roommate, who is our pupil in their school and the son of a former headmistress, who actually died on her job while he was in the nursery at a school, didn't show up for new school year for weeks on end. Simon starts to get worried because something is suspicious to him. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's a great book and probably my favorite book of the year. So, and then I also reread there's 2 other books in the series, and that are Witch-a-thon by Ryan Burrell and When the Wind Blows by Ryan Burrell. In Witch-a-thon, our main characters from the first book go to US on a road trip, and in When the Wind Blows, they are trying to settle back into their lives before all of this started happening, and it doesn't go as planned. Then I actually reread Dinner with Vampire by Abigail Gibbs, not Abigail Hangwen. They don't have the same first name, so I confused them. So in this one we're following Violet Lee, who one day while she's waiting for her friend to go to Club Venus, is a brutal massacre of about 30 men by these 6 guys who turn out to be vampires and take them with her. One of them just happens to be a vampire heir to the throne, and one of the others ends up being his younger brother, and stuff goes from there. It's mostly hilarious because the Casper, who is the heir to the throne, and Violet just trying to make each other's lives miserable for the first part of the book, and it leads to some really weird, really funny situations they let themselves into. Then I actually reread The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So in this one we're following 2 magicians who are competing, and their stage is this circus, which only appears at night without warning, without any indication it will show up. So, and because they don't know each other's identities, they're just trying to outdo each other, and it's really actually fun, and I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Actually, all the books that I reread except for one were 5 out of 5 stars, and then I actually reread the entirety of Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. So in these books we're following a group of kids who find portals to this land of Narnia. So basically, depending on which group we're following, the way they get into is almost always different. For example, one time is wardrobe, one time is train station, actually underground station, one time is fire escape at school, so, and shenanigans ensue. Then I actually reread, in which order did I reread these 3? I'm sure that, okay. Then I listened to audiobook of Dragonfly in Ember by Diana Gabaldon, which is the 2nd book in Outlander series, and I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5 stars, but it's so long. Then I also listened to the audiobook of the Queen of Phoenix Lair. I forgot to put the author's name, but I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. And then I actually reread Blood Trust by Erin van Lans. But this is my dad's book. It's a political thriller following former first daughter and national security advisor who is helping her, and former first daughter has been accused of this string of murders because first murder victim was connected to her, so they suspect her of being the one who killed them. But national security advisor decides to help her because he knows that she couldn't possibly do it. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. This is the only reread that wasn't 5 out of 5 stars for me. And the last thing that I reread was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I have to read last 2 books still in this series, but I started this reread because I started to forget what happened in the first few of them. And I read this one 2 years ago, and I remember that specifically because it was in April and lockdown happened and I had a lot of free time. And because school was online, but our teachers weren't really used to doing school online still back then, so it was like we had a lot of free time. So in this year's, in this 4th book in Throne of Glass series, in which are following an assassin named Yelena Sardotian, who prior to the events of first book was actually captured, and now is at the beginning of the first one is working as a slave in salt mines up until the day when Captain of the King's Guard comes and takes her to the Crown Prince, who actually offers her position as his champion to become King's assassin in exchange of her freedom. And it's really at the end of book 2 and in book 3, story starts to really diverge from that, and it's really weird because in book 3 we get introduced to few more characters as the story starts to converge to something other, and we also meet her cousin who is basically like her but male and older, and they're actually, I think it's 3 years difference, so he's not that older, but it's hilarious. Specifically in this one, because in this one they finally meet again, and there was literally one point when he wakes up and she's drooling in her sleep, and he's thinking about why she's drooling in her sleep and how it's funny. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And that's it for this video. If you liked, please like, share and subscribe. Down below to my social media, my email and some other stuff, and I'll see you next one.